Hello, my name's Gary Schotten, and I'm going to talk about the subject of rest. And we're typically in America, and especially around the rest of the world, we're always in a hurry. I am got to be guard this myself. So in a way, I'm talking to myself as much as I'm talking to you. We've got to take time to rest. And we look at even creation. In the beginning, in Genesis 1, God created the heavens and the earth. And on 6 days, He created different aspects of creation. On the sixth day, He actually created mankind. But after the sixth day, on the seventh day, He rested. If God said, I need to rest, not for the same reason, I think we need to take a good look at our lives and be willing to have rest. Take rest. Take time to get away and relax. I'm speaking to you in a way that I have great experience of not being good at taking rest. I am very consistent of my Sundays, my once a week, to take the day and honor God with my church attendance, and that's relaxing to me. I don't mean I have to sleep all day by my seventh day, but I am restful. True rest comes when we're connected with God. Only God can give us true rest. And we have to, though, guard against this idea that if I just stay busy, there's always something that I can be busy doing. There's always something that doesn't get done. And it's going to cause us, when we realize that we need balance in our life, and rest is a part of life. We can look back in history and just wonder when there wasn't automobiles and there wasn't cell phones and there wasn't the internet. Man, that would have been maybe boring, and maybe they did rest, and maybe because they didn't have technology, they had to work harder every day. But this technology was intended, in some sense, to make life easier. The microwave oven makes cooking easier and faster. But what was intended to make us easier and faster seems to have maybe sped things up. Maybe I am going at a higher pace, a faster pace than ever before. And if you follow that path, we're on the wrong trajectory. We are speeding things up to unbelievable speed of life that we're going to kill ourselves and hurt ourselves. And we all know that, or at least I know, that if I'm not careful, there's always something I need to do every minute of every day, and I don't rest. So rest is important. I could go into detail about the times that I was so tired, so physically and mentally tired, that I made poor choices. I didn't do what I could have done, and I was making poor choices. Mental fatigue, mental rest is something that if you don't have it, will open the door for you to make mistakes. I've seen it. I've done it. And so that's part of taking a rest. I know that there's times where I've been pushed for a decision, and I need to decide right now on something. Well, if I haven't thought about it, if I haven't slept on it, bigger decisions, I almost always wait on any big decisions until I've at least slept on it. Because it seems that in the morning when I first wake, these business decisions are clearer. And if I feel confident after I've taken a long rest, then I'm less likely to make a choice that's detrimental to my future. When we're talking with somebody, we've got to be careful that we're listening to them. When we're reading a book or reading the Bible, we've got to be careful that we're concentrating on what's being said or what we're reading. We have this idea that we can just be going so fast every day that by going faster we can accomplish more. We have just all kinds of approaches that we can see that just going faster, being more active, being more committed, having more things on our agenda does not mean that we're advancing in our business life per se. I know that I used to try to fill my calendar fairly full of different activities. Well, what am I going to do today? Well, don't have anything very important on my schedule, so let me figure what I could put on my calendar. Well, a lot of those things I don't want to add to my calendar. A lot of things that I could do with a quick phone call rather than driving over or going over to a particular meeting. I don't need to go see them. And so setting a budgeted time and setting aside adequate time for the important things of life, and then taking rest. Taking a rest. I will tell you that on my personal physical body, I discovered that I had what's called sleep apnea. I wasn't able to go to sleep at night and get good rest. Well, that's a name. That's just something that I needed some medical help with. It wasn't an operation. It's just a breathing device that I use every night, that I realized that thought I was getting sleep, but I was waking tired physically. I was sleepy during the day. I would fall asleep at a drop of a hat or just instantly. And that was actually a physical condition, that I wasn't taking in oxygen to the level that I needed, and I needed a little aid, just a little bit of extra air. Many people have this, so it's not that weird, but I now am able to get a good night's sleep, and I'm used to that. It gives me a good night's sleep. Each one of us have a different metabolism in our body, and some of you could maybe get by with just 5 hours of sleep. Some of you 6 hours of sleep. I need a little more than that. I need more than 7 hours of sleep. Maybe it's because I'm getting a little older too. But you have to determine that good rest is as important as strong activity, and cutting a few things out of your agenda, out of your schedule, and having a rest physical rest is important. Now, don't forget that true rest only comes when we have God in our lives. We could work really hard for months and even years on a pathway that is leading to nowhere. We could work in the wrong direction for a long time without God's wisdom. So just having activity, setting a goal, making sure you hit the goal, if it's not consistent with God's will for your life and not consistent with God's calling in your life, you'll find out that at the end of even years that you're following a path that didn't result in what you wanted to experience. At times I was setting my goals to be a professional engineer. Well, that's probably a good goal, but in time, even though I studied and tried for that, I realized that would have redirected my course in life. I wanted to plan my life further out so I could really see maybe 5 and 10 years out. There's nothing wrong with planning, but in this idea of rest, I could work 10, 12, 15 years in a direction and then discover that wasn't even God's best for me. I prefer to have good rest and then ask God to guide me and lead me every day, every week. Now, I don't jump around. It doesn't just happen. I'm doing one thing one week and I jump to another thing. I have a long-term trajectory, but it all comes with hearing God's voice, and hearing God's voice for me comes with having a restful attitude. I have peace. Godliness with contentment is great gain, is one of the verses that I refer to. Godliness with contentment is great gain. Well, contentment a lot of times means I have a restful attitude towards life. Thank you for being a part of Inspiring Better Business.